right, so an orgy was broken up in France.
Another one? I can't believe all the we have this story every couple of weeks since we've been in lockdown. The amount of orgies that go on in this world is amazing to me.
There's 81 people in this orgy in France that was broken up, raided by the police. The police gave everybody tickets at the orgy.
Okay. Hey, I went to the orgy and I got a ticket.
And all I got was this lousy ticket.
I thought I was going to get herpes, but I got a ticket.
So what I want to know is, from you, do girls really want to go deep down? You can talk all the crap you want and say, yeah, you do want to go and you want to get the strange. But do girls deep down really want to go to an orgy, or are they just agreeing with their boyfriend, husband, and doing it for them?
I'm so glad you asked me this question because I actually have a group of friends that I know. They live in Brooklyn, of course, because it's so hipster. And it's a group of girls, and they are really into group sex. They run orgies. They don't just go to them. I mean, some of them they go to, but they actually run some orgies themselves, or sex parties, as they call them. Yeah, they don't call them orgies. They call them sex parties, by the way.
Okay.
They call them play parties. And no, I know women that this is how they like to have sex. They are into it. This is their thing.
So they're actually bringing the man with them, even if the guy says... Because I think it's a guy thing. I think it's a guy talking the girl into it.
Not at all. Not at all. In fact, in these play parties, if that's the situation, they don't let you come in. Like if somebody does not want to be there, if they don't feel comfortable, you got to answer a bunch of questions before you go. They don't want to get in any trouble. They don't want to get in a situation where somebody's going to yell date rape or anything like that. So in this world of PC sex, trust me, there are women with really high libidos. And I have this one girlfriend who would bring her boyfriend, then husband, to these sex parties. And he finally one day said to her, I don't enjoy it. I mean, he watches her have sex mostly. He doesn't really participate. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he'll have sex with her there, but he's not looking to hook up. And she'll hook up with men and women while she's there. Like she really enjoys it. And he finally said to her, like, I don't want to go with you anymore. Like, you're going to have to go by yourself. But the problem is these parties, you have to go as a couple. You can't go by yourself.
So you actually think the girls might be into it way more than the guys are?
No, I think that there are people that's how they enjoy having sex, men and women, and then they go find each other. The funniest thing about these is you get people that are real exhibitionists and people that are real voyeurs, and they all show up at these parties. So you get the exhibitionists who love being watched, and then you get the voyeurs who love watching. So everybody's happy, and it's a safe, closed environment. No one's a peeping. If you want to be a peeping Tom, you can't really walk around your neighborhood and look in a window. That's illegal. But if you go to one of these parties, and there's what they do is, and I know this because my friend, like I said, runs these parties. They find places where there's a room and then there's windows around them. They use like a lot of, for example, like she had this one party at a karate studio. Mm-hmm. So like when the karate, I guess in the real world, I took karate, so I know when you're doing a karate, I forget what it's called, like a competition or whatever, there's glass so your parents can watch because they're not supposed to be in the dojo. They can't be in the room. Mm-hmm. So they watch behind the glass. That's the perfect environment for one of these sex parties. So the people that like to be watched go inside, and the people that want to do the watching stand around the windows like the parents do at like a competition.
So at these parties, there's actually people standing around watching and not joining in.
Well, there's some that will watch while their significant other performs oral sex on them. There are others that just watch as a couple. They both watch, and that's kind of like foreplay for them. Then they go home and have sex. So everybody has their thing. And these people all find each other. I'm telling you, 81 people in an orgy is a lot, though. Like my girlfriend that has these parties, she said maybe like her biggest party, maybe 40 people showed up. Mm-hmm. And that was like, some big, huge event that she had.
It can't be a good smell.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably not a very good smell. Yeah, think about like if I mean, we don't have sex for hours anymore, but when we used to, then you walk back in the room and be like, that's a little, I need to open a window in here. Imagine like
TMI.
20 people.
TMI and ew.
Come on, everybody has had like a new relationship where they just have sex nonstop for like an entire weekend, and then the person leaves. And I'm sorry, your house does not smell like roses. It just doesn't.
Well, I personally know you, and you don't like to take showers, so ew.
No, I shower when I'm having sex with somebody.
Ew.
Okay.
Yeah, I get it, but
I know.
81
okay,
people.
So getting back to the orgy thing. So no, to answer your question, no, it's not men pressuring their women to go to an orgy. I did have a boss once who really, really enjoyed orgies. That was his thing. And he had this female friend that would go with him. And whenever she couldn't go, he would get a prostitute and bring a prostitute with him.
Oh, because he couldn't get in by himself.
Nope, it's couples only. You can't come in by yourself. They don't allow it.
So you actually go out and pay somebody to go with the party with you.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep.
Good idea.
Yeah.
And she doesn't mind to have sex because she did what she does.
Right. And you're going to get laid. I mean, even if no one at the party wants to have sex with you, because even just because you go to an orgy does not mean that people are going to have sex with you.
Mm-hmm.
Just so you know, it's not like just because you're there, you just assume you're just another, penis in a room that someone's going to grab. No. And people do go to orgies and they get rejected, and they spend the whole time on the outskirts of the orgy not being asked to participate.
Do you have to pay to get in like a nightclub?
Always. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's not cheap either, because it's a deterrent. They don't want to make it. It's not like $5. I mean, I think they make it like my friend that pays the prostitute to get in. I once asked him. This is years ago. Years ago, it was $40 a person. So, and this was like, I mean, this is when I first started out in radio. So we're talking like almost 20 years ago.
And that's not
it's got to be way more than that now.
That's not a guaranteed lay.
No, you just pay to get in, and then if somebody there wants to have sex with you, they do, and if not,
Wow.
That's probably why he brings a prostitute.
Wow. Yeah, because he doesn't care if she hooks up with somebody. He hopes she hooks up with somebody so he can hook up with somebody else.
And if somebody else doesn't hook up with him, she's there to be with him. Yeah.
Yeah, I always thought it was a guy talking a girl into it, and I didn't think girls wanted the strange.
No, see, you don't know the whole kink lifestyle, the whole play lifestyle. It's a lifestyle for people. See, for you, it's just like you talking a girl into doing a threesome with a friend. Like, that's a whole different story.
And I wouldn't know how to bring that up.
It's shocking how organized these orgies are. They don't just happen. You've got to organize it. I mean, it's like throwing a party. It's like having a wedding.
Do you take your clothes off at the door and you walk around naked, or do you have your clothes on until you meet somebody? How does that work?
Every place is different. There's places that have lockers that you come in and they hand you a towel and you put all your clothes and all your stuff in a locker, and you have a key and it goes around your wrist. So, like with a bracelet. So you don't have to worry about losing it. You just wear it all night. Then there's other places that they have like cubbies that like in little areas. So when you're ready to have sex, you take your clothes off and put it in a cubby. And then sometimes one of them that my girlfriend had was a costume party. So people that show up in costumes tend not to wear underwear. So that way they don't need to worry about putting things in place. You know what I mean? Like and there's bowls of condoms everywhere and lube. Like
and drugs.
No, not really. There's no drugs. No drugs. Sometimes there's a bar. Sometimes there's a cash bar, but that's about it. And actually, the real organized clubs, like the ones in New York City, no alcohol because it's not allowed.
Oh, really?
Yep. You don't get a liquor license for a sex club, for a sex party.
So you got to get drunk before you go.
Well, if you need to get drunk, yeah.
Well, I look a lot better once you're drunk. Once you're drunk, I go from like a 2 to at least a 7. So I'm hoping to hook up with the drunk chicks.
Yeah, but can you imagine desiring sex like that? Like that's the only way you have sex and it's so important to you, you're willing to risk COVID?
Yeah, that's 81 people in one room.
Right.
Naked.
Willing to risk a disease that could potentially kill them just so they can have sex the way they like to have sex for a night.
Yeah, I mean, they don't think about diseases at all, so I don't think they even care about COVID.
No, of course they care about. That's why there's condoms everywhere. But think of it like this, okay? These are people who this is how they like to have sex. It's one thing if you're under quarantine for a couple of months. You're like, it sucks, but I guess I can wait. This is almost a year now. And if that's your lifestyle, you're basically asking people to not have sex for a whole year. And there's 81 people in France that are unwilling to do that.
Right. Oh, and I just thought of France. France, they don't like showers. Oh, they stink. Oh, can you imagine what that room smells like? They gave them tickets just for the stink.
Right.
They smelled it walking down the road, and they broke in and gave everybody tickets.
Yeah, and all my hipster French friends, they're not into shaving anything. So you can imagine what it also looked like. It was a lot going on there.
It looked like 1972. Oh.
But that's the other weird thing. You get people in their 20s and people in their 60s. So the age range of those people, the 81 people, is probably just as interesting as the fact that they were unwilling to wait a year to have sex again.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that because I think in my head it's the beach on Long Island. And there's no attractive naked people at all on the beach in Long Island. It's all that guy and that girl. And it's a whole room of that guy and that girl.
Yeah, that's probably true. And some of them are in their 20s and some of them in their 60s.
But they all look like that guy and that girl. You know what they look like. Close your eyes. That's what they look like. You can picture them in your head.
Okay, so that's what they look like. That's how desperate these people are to have sex that they're unwilling to wait for COVID to be over. They'll even risk COVID having sex with a guy that looks like that.
And a girl that looks like that.